I've tried to tell you guys that Nintendo and even PlayStation don't care about physical media, man. It's right in front of your faces. And what's even more laughable about this, you're gonna have Nintendo fanboys defending, well, that's not gonna happen to the Nintendo Switch exclusive games. Maybe, yes, but that also shows you that they're not going to push the boundaries with their own games. The Switch 2 is obsolete, man. I'm sorry. Any pre-order that I was going to do with this console has been canceled. I'm sorry, bro. Y'all like when you gave it a 10 out of 10 and 9 out of 10 for the direct. Yeah, that's just because of the games they showed. But let's be honest, guys. This is anti-consumer. You know when you decide to pick up this device, you're going to feel icky inside. You're going to feel like, dang, did I really support this? That's how you're gonna feel when you pick up this console, man. I'm gonna have to take a stand on this, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'm here for the real gamers. I mean, I don't really care that much to play Donkey Kong and what the new Mario Kart game. I can wait. It is what it is, bro. Because I think the fact that people are buying this is the reason why Nintendo will continue to keep doing this, man. I know people say, well, it don't matter if you don't buy it, everybody else is. That's fine. But I don't want to be the person that essentially they can blame for why things are getting worse. Does that make sense? I mean, it is what it is, bro. Y'all really thought that Nintendo and PlayStation cared about physical media? We have a digital only future right in front of your people's faces, and yet we still have some naysayers still not believing it.
To download the game, you must have enough free space in your Nintendo Switch 2 system, memory, or micro SD express card. So yes, the SD cards are back. They're different ones. They're faster, all that stuff. The amount of free space required is indicated on the game key card packaging. So again, the takeaway here is the game is not on the cartridge this time at all. It's a key card.
And the games ain't even working. Matter of fact, they're saying that the Switch 1 games are mostly done through emulation. This is embarrassing, man. This is why we're having problems. They're like, oh, the Switch 2 hardware is much more complex. Then the backwards compatibility is limited, in my honest opinion. Like, what would be the point of even adding it if you can't even get majority? I mean, they got about a few games working, but you got games like the arcade archives from King of Fighters not working. Like, come on, Nintendo, seriously? Like, what are we doing here, man? This is embarrassing. I don't care what any of you people are gonna say. Oh, but Nintendo, it's not even running the games natively anymore. The Switch 1 games don't run natively off the Switch 2. It has to go through the online, no different than Xbox, to be able to get you the file so you could download it to your Switch. This is an online only device. And before you people say, why you got a PS5? Why you got an Xbox Series X? Well, guess what? This is far worse. And what's even more funny, with the PS5, that has DRM too with the disk drive. I just think gamers are going to have to come to the realization that this is the future of gaming. Now, mind you, if this was the same thing and we had $60 cartridges, I probably wouldn't be complaining. But how dare Nintendo charge you guys $90 for a physical copy to a game they only probably spent $1 million on? Like, it's embarrassing, man. And we know this game can fit on the whole 32 gigabyte cartridge. We know that, bruh. It ain't no 64, 80 gigabyte cartridge that they put Mario Kart World in. That is the biggest hustle I've ever seen. And what's even more funny, it's only going to raise the price of these games permanently.
If it is a digital key card for anything, any type of game.
Well, the PlayStation 5 is nothing but a licensed disk drive DRM. So that essentially means that when that disk drive is broken 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you won't be able to use it unless Sony still has their service up. So your whole system is DRM. Nintendo's DRM, you got to launch it for the first time for some probably for the vast majority of these third-party games. Nintendo probably won't do that. But then it's just like, what's the point, man? I'm sorry, man. I'm going to have to put my foot down, man. There's a few games that I found out that I'm like, nah, they could have compressed the files. They could have got these games to work. And now they out here third parties milking off this, game key card library. Well, if this is what y'all doing, you better not charge $90 for these games because you put no effort to even charge $90 for these games. Now, if you was able to put the game in a cartridge, or maybe it was like, oh man, we got to get Street Fighter on it, so we used the 64 gigabyte cartridge in favor of a 32 because we didn't want to compress it. Well, then I'd be like, okay, even though it's kind of scummy, but you did have to take that charge with the manufacturing fee to get the extra additional storage. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? It'll be back to the days of the Super FX and the N64. Okay, like I said, it's still a bad pill to swallow, but nonetheless, they took the gamble and that's what they did. But these companies are doing the bare minimum, essentially putting a code in a box and charging you $90. That is crazy, bro.
It's not on the disc. It's not on the cartridge.
And on top of that, for an inferior version of the game,
you have to download this game. So now you're paying an extra $10 for a jewel case and a cartridge that does not work offline.
It's just like PlayStation, though. So this is my whole problem. You got PlayStation dudes trying to chime in and all this, but listen, it's the same thing on PlayStation. Your whole console's DRM. The PS5 Slim and the PS5 Pro have DRM natively done through the disk drive. So that means any game that wants to work on it won't work. I mean, to be honest, Nintendo's kind of better in this approach because you just got to launch it once, but still, you got to keep the game installed into the SD card because if not, you're going to have to do the same exact process. This is DRM, man. I told you guys this is the future of gaming. This is where gaming is heading to. But yeah, y'all didn't want to listen to me. Y'all really thought Nintendo wouldn't go this far, but they've kind of already done it with the Switch 1. So it's pretty obvious that they was going to do it with the Switch 2, considering that the games are going to be bigger in file sizes.
Get this right out the box and you're camping and you brought this console with you to play in handheld mode and you didn't preemptively download this game, it's worthless, right? You stop off at your local retail store, you pick up a game, you don't have internet connections to do anything with it before you're heading out to your camping trip or your long road trip to go somewhere.
I mean, at this point, Nintendo is essentially telling you, buy the games digital. I mean, at this point, if this is not a wake-up call for you people to realize that, dang, I don't even think Nintendo wants us playing physical games anymore, then I don't know what to tell you. You guys really thought that Nintendo was going to hold on to this false ideology that you fanboys have been building up for the longest. PlayStation, mostly PlayStation. I can't even say Xbox fans because they've already kind of realized the realization, but PlayStation and Nintendo fans, just for them to be like, nah, you know, we're doing the same thing like them.
And you're DOA. You're dead on arrival, right? That's huge. That's so odd to me. Not only is it another $10, but then you have to download it anyway. So you're paying for maybe a collector's piece of things. And then, of course, step 3, play the game. Once the game is downloaded, you're ready to play on and on and on. Internet connection is only required when you launch the game for the first time. After that, you don't, but you do have to download it. So it's just interesting to me. You might as well just have that all digital. So
yeah, it's cheaper. I mean, there's really no point, you know. But I don't understand how PlayStation fanboys talk about how the hardware is expensive, the games are expensive. Ain't you the same dudes that pre-ordered Indiana Jones and Forza Horizon 5 early 4-day early access, and guess what? That cost $100. So how come didn't you guys say, oh, we buy our games, we don't have a problem with doing that, so why are you complaining about what Switch is doing? Now mind you, I'm not even agreeing with Switch. I'm not even agreeing with Nintendo for what they're doing. All I'm saying, keep it consistent, because you guys saying, oh, I'm paying the ultimate edition of Forza Horizon 5. How much is that game, Timmy? It's $100, and on top of it's an old game, a 5-year-old game that was on the Xbox One. To be honest, if anything, it's probably better if you go buy Mario Kart World than if you went and picked up Forza Horizon 5, considering that the game's much cheaper on PC and Xbox already. But I digress.
Again, we're another step, even with Nintendo, who I thought would hang on the longest out of all.
Well, you thought wrong. I knew this was going to happen. I told you. I said all these companies will be pushing for this. And you know what? They went as far to do it with the Switch, too.
Free here between Sony and Microsoft is that they would hang on the longest in regards to physical media.
Why?
So this is very, very disheveling to me. Kind of a gut punch for those that do care about physical games and want that integrity to stay with that sort of situation.
Well, the gamers are going to have to speak up, and I'm decided to speak up, and therefore I'm not buying one. Oh, but games, you said you like the game. Listen, man, at the end of the day, we as gamers have to take a stand, man. I did tell people I was going to buy one. I didn't know any of these things was going on. So when I made that video talking about how Dreamcast guy was salty, even he didn't know. He was just bashing it because he didn't even know about that information until much after. Now he's going to use that to say, oh, well, this is the reason why I didn't like the Dirt. No, you didn't, bro. You didn't like it because you weren't getting those games on PlayStation. Let's keep it 100. The games wasn't the problem. It's the price tag, and your people know it, right? This is the main problem. It got to the point where he didn't even care about the virtual game cards. But really, this is what y'all doing, Nintendo? And then on top of that, most of the accessories ain't backwards Nintendo Switch 1, how the backwards compatibility works with Switch 2 is so much different. I've seen articles, guys. It's laughable. It's all being done through a service. Online only. This is an online only device, guys. This is what you guys are buying. Same thing with the PS5, same thing with the Xbox Series X. These are online only devices. We are in the digital age of gaming right now as I speak.
So really, really interesting to me. So again, let's circle back also in addition to the pricing, right? I expected the prices to go up. Inflation's a thing, the cost of games and gaming is going up as we speak. I understand that. But what I don't understand is why Nintendo's controlling that narrative before Microsoft or Sony or anything on PC for day one AAA games and stuff like that.
Because Nintendo knows their audience is stupid. They know they're gonna buy it. They know that they got some good games coming out, and this is how Nintendo's gonna trap the audience. Y'all like, oh, well, Nintendo showed great games. Yeah, there was a reason for that, so they could push this garbage to see if you guys would cave in. And unfortunately, I'm not, man. I was thinking, people say, hey, man, you said you was going to do a review with this, and that. I'm going to have to take a stand. And like I've said in my live stream, I'm going to have to see Nintendo give in. Until I can see them give in. I mean, they even selling the pack-in game as if it's worth anything. Nah, bro, Nintendo is going to have to give in to something. I don't care what it is, bro. If it's lowering the Switch or if it's lowering the price of the games, I have to see as a consumer what power do we have within this company, because I'm not going to just go out there because it's going to lead from 90 to 100 to 120. I mean, you guys got to remember, as soon as you support these practices, Nintendo's going to be like, let's try 100, let's try 110, let's try 120, let's try 150 now. You guys have to take a stand. We know y'all ain't, because this is the reason why we've been in this predicament for the longest, because we got more sheeple in this community than real rational gamers. Now, mind you, I'm not trying to condemn anybody that's going to go buy it. I understand why you would buy one. It has good games, but I can't support this mediocrity, bro. I'm sorry, man. After finding out all this, the game cards, oh, but it ain't for all of them. You can still get the Mario Kart and the Metroid the way you want, Gamester. But it also shows you that when Nintendo wants to be like, okay, we want to push a 64 gigabyte cartridge, we're going to charge $100 or $110 for that version. This is what you guys are supporting. You guys are supporting these ideologies, and I'm not on board with it. I don't care if it's Sony, PlayStation, or Nintendo. This needs to be called out, and we need to see Nintendo change something. Maybe I don't care if it's minor at this point. That bundling game that you pay for needs to be free. It needs to. I need to see as a customer or consumer that's potentially going to buy a product that we have power. Just like when Xbox raised the price and y'all say, and they decided to put it back down. That's what I'm talking about. Now, mind you, they ain't going to put it down all the time. Like I said, do more games, it's going to cost more money. That's perfectly fine if it's within reason. But Nintendo's not giving me a reason to pay $90 for a game that's fitting on the same cartridge that Tears of Kingdom did. Why wasn't it charged the same price? Why wasn't it just $70? What makes this game $90 worth of your money? That's the question that you guys as consumers should be asking.
This is rough. And again, graphics don't make everything, right? We know that. But like I just showed on that meme, we have something. But people are whining about games like Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2 costing $70, right? And yet we're okay with an $80 Mario Kart now. But let me just pull these 4 examples up here, these 4 screens, just so you have some context.
Like I said, he said enough for this video, so I'm going to take over. This is crazy, bro. You know what I mean? Like I said, the games look nice. You know what I mean? I'm not even really stressing out about the hardware price. It's really the price of the games. I have to see Nintendo cave in. It is what it is. Y'all like, oh, I care. They don't care. It's fine if they don't care. Well, I don't care enough to buy it. The end. Like, this is what's going to happen, bro. Like, I swear to God, I know people are going to buy it regardless, but I can't contribute to to why gaming is trash the way it is, bro. I cannot, bro. It's engraved in me, man. You know what I mean? And stuff like this. I just can't. Oh, buy them on a buy 2 get 1 free, like you said, Gamester. Nah, I have to see Nintendo crack. You guys are at the highest top of your game, and then you think you could take advantage of people. It was better when y'all were losers. I'm sorry. It was better when y'all were losing the console war. It was better. Y'all like, oh, well, why would you say it? It was better. We was all winning. I noticed when you're on the winning team, you get better offerings for some reason. I don't know why that is the case. I really don't. I'm not saying it from the content. I don't care about console wars, but I'm just saying, according to these fanboys, Because if this is what y'all call winning, then I don't know what winning is. If raising the price of games like that could run on 32 gigabyte cartridges, like I need a proper justification as to why this game is $90. Okay? Like Cyberpunk, if that was 90 and they're like, hey man, we had to put it on a 64 gigabyte cartridge, you know, we try to put the game there, fully the game there. Oh, I mean, it stings, but you can understand because the company took the time to manufacture a bigger cartridge for you. This is nothing new. They've done this back in the Sega Genesis, where Sega Genesis games would be more expensive because of the technology that they put in the cartridge. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Because at least you can sit there and say, okay, I know why I'm paying for it, but the game is still there. But you got third party latching on, we're gonna sell Street Fighter 6 for 90. Who knows? Even if it's 60, that's scummy. And not realizing that the game is not there. Like, that's crazy. It seems like Capcom didn't want to compress for no files. I'm hearing Resident Evil remakes are coming, and you know they ain't gonna be on the cartridge either. We gotta take a stand on this, man. If you're telling me that the only games that are gonna be functional like this is Nintendo, that means that Nintendo ain't even pushing the envelope anymore. And when they decide to, they're gonna be like, yeah, they were 90, now we're gonna charge 110 now, an extra $20 because we had to use a 64 gigabyte cartridge this time around. That's the whole excuse. You see, so when you buy this, remember what you're leading to the next excuse, because they did that with Tears of Kingdom. And I told people that they were going to continue to do this if y'all keep supporting it, and look what happened. But like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. We will continue to cover whatever's going on here with Nintendo, because like I said, PlayStation is irrelevant at this point. There ain't nothing really to talk about, but this was definitely an interesting point. I just don't understand how Xvault game and it's talk about how the high price of games when you bought a PS5 Pro and you bought 5 copies of Concord that don't even work. So, which is all DRM. So take care. Peace out.